Alright, we're back with Micro Design Group's MacArthur's War. Current situation, we're moving into the May 51 turn. The lines are pretty much, well, kind of solidified here, partway up North Korean Peninsula, Pyongyang. Atomic bomb, the war has escalated beyond what really happened in history, so we've got the UN player dropping atomic bombs here to sever Chinese supplies here up at the front. The Chinese, or the Soviets actually, returned the favor, and I'm going to tweak that in a second. The Chinese tried to invade Formosa, and they made some progress for a few turns, but then major U.S. forces showed up and kicked them off the island, but not without losses, which means now potentially they could invade mainland China, since that's done, but, well, there are a lot of armies here that modify it, so we'll see if that happens. Main problem for the UN this turn is Chinese declared stalemate, or the communists. So this is the last turn. They've got to take an objective hex, either here, any objective hex on the map, else the game ends, and the Chinese have a bare minimum lead here. And actually I'm going to tweak that a little further. I just realized that there are supply lines coming down through here. So literally everybody's in supply, so they needed to bomb one more place. And I would say the place was maybe here, or here, or here. We'll just say here. Now this is going to make things interesting. We'll say the Chinese, they did bomb here too. So that's 2 more atomic bombs because I was doing doubles. Well, let's make sure that I didn't get 2 6s, but 1 got shot down. So let's tweak the 10. There's a 1s somewhere. There it is. Okay. So this is going to go down to 8. And this is going to go down to 28. Both sides have good inventory of bombs. Obviously, the US has hundreds. The Soviets have, well, 28 now, which is enough to do damage. Now, by doing that, we have to look at collateral damage. That was actually bombing on map in South Korea. The UN lose a victory point and the communists lose half a victory point. So the UN goes here. This is the collateral damage from dropping bombs. And this actually, interestingly enough, puts these guys at 1/2 victory point. So if the game ended, they would win by the barest margin at this point. They had victory points. Unfortunately, when I made this, I didn't allow me to do 1/2s. But that's what we'll say. We'll just say it's off here because it's 1/2. So that's done. We kind of cleaned up from last term. So that now truly does, because also they bombed the ports in North Korea. So there is no supply line right now for any of these troops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 4, 5. They can't get around to here, and this line doesn't doesn't work. So truly do have that out of supply. So let's look at the weather phase. So let's go ahead and do the turn here. It's May of 51. First thing we got to do is roll for weather. So I didn't update these charts yet. So here's our weather chart. We said it's May. 5 or 6 is rain. Let's see what happens. 2. It is clear, which means invasions can occur. Airborne units were destroyed in the battle for Formosa. They may be replaced. So now it's the UN players phase. And we're not going to escalate to global yet. The interesting thing is, if you do escalate all the way up to global, then we've got the European conflict. And guess what? All bets are off. You can literally end the game with a properly adjusted good die roll. Communist victory, UN victory. Nothing about victory points here. That may be something that they consider doing. Or maybe if not the US or the UN, but maybe the communists. So then we got the air phase. We can use air points for interdiction. Actually, we learned there's no reason. All the units that matter. Interdiction basically allows you to target units and have them, even though they're in supply, they effectively are interdicted, so they're out of supply. Everybody's out of supply here, so I think the UN gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, gets 8. So we'll bring that over here. Doesn't want to stack, okay. Alright, so that's the air phase. Not going to do interdiction. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. In theory, the only units in supply is this guy, actually. That's 6, 8. That's interesting, though. Let's just to exercise it. What makes this different is this is a North Korean unit, and it's in supply because it's on a North Korean supply source, which is that fort there. So that means maybe I do interdict that that unit. Let's look at this here. Supply sources. Unoccupied city hex. Oh wait, no. City hexes. There are no more unoccupied city hexes in North Korea. It's just these ports. The only people who can use ports are UN, US, and Nationalist Chinese. Okay, so again, that reinforces the notion, no need for interdiction. Probably no need for 8 of those. Yeah, 8 US there. So, going to move on to the reinforcement. Collects and applies replacements. Chooses to mobilize your National Guard. No. And we're not pulling the unit out of Germany. Both spend victory points. There's no way we're touching that one. 5. Okay. So let's look at this. The Korean army, I'm sorry, the ROC actually gets 2. So we're going to make these full strength. Nationalist Chinese haven't lost any units, actually. I'll have to look at that. They may have been involved in that battle. But they would have been at full strength by now. Let's see. I kind of messed that up. Yeah, no, there we go. I did reduce them. So we can, let's see, Nationalist Chinese. They only have 1. Okay. Let's do this guy down here. Alright. Now let's look at the so we got the Nationalist Chinese, PLA, ROC. We just did them. They had 2. UN 1, US 2. So, UN 1, which means I think they appear as reinforcements, but Canadians and Turks, I think we've got them all. So there's no more UN to do anymore. Yeah, let's look at this here real quick. Yeah, just 3 units. They're all on board. Yep, there's the British. Okay. So it's just 2 US. There are eliminated US units. Actually, let's pull them off. Got the 82nd and the 11th and the 3rd Infantry. So if I bring back those re-emplacements, I think they appear in Korea. So these would appear in Korea. Or I can go ahead though first, and let's go ahead. Let's use 1 here. Get that guy up to full strength. And that guy is at full strength. Okay, so he's good. So I still got 1 more, so just got to figure out where US replacements, just want to verify that. Let's see where they come back. I keep forgetting that. There's air power. replacement points. Yeah. Okay. The Korea area of the strategic. Okay, that's nice. So that means with 1 point left, we can go ahead and put the airborne. Let's see which unit we want to get back. There we are. Well, I'm going to bring this guy back. He's in the Korea area. So next turn maybe we can bring him back full strength and land him. Okay. So I think that does the replacements. Reinforcements. Now we got strategic movement. Let's look at this. Anybody want to move? I'm not going to move these guys because they're perfectly positioned to invade China. 7th Fleet's going to move. I'm going to put them on the board here. That's for sure. But I don't need these guys, and the ports are broken, and they'd appear down here. So let's leave them here threatening China. And then this guy, there's no ports to land. Let's see, that's a red move here. So can't do that. So the only way UN can get at China is this way. So let's threaten that. Let's pull this guy down here. These guys will stay here as an invasion possibility. I'm not happy about that, but hopefully we don't escalate. To and from the street and on the game using sea movement, the UN player conducts and resolves any amphib assaults. 10.3. So guess what? I think the Marines can invade. Defense here is 2467. Defense here is 2468. I don't know if that makes a big difference. 7 to 26. I think 10.3. We're gonna. We've got to. Well. No, this guy's not in supply. We could invade China. Right here. What would that benefit us? It's already been nuked. It's a broken port. Who wants to invade a broken port? No, let's do another invasion, and this is an opposed invasion. We will. The 7th Fleet is free. That's what happened because of Formosa. Let's look at Amphibious Assaults. Zones control for supply. Lose their on retreat purposes. Captures a port. He may immediately strategic move units into that port. That's interesting. Landing on Incheon. Already present comment is immediately resolved. KPA destroyed. Immediately move 7th Division. So we are going to go for it. We are going to bring the Marines in. So they are invading. And 7th Fleet. I don't know if I can get to the edge here. So we're done there. Let's do this. 7th Fleet is here. And for the invasion, yeah, we got plenty of air power. We got the air power here too. So we got a 2-column shift. But let's see. Okay, that's good. And if they win, actually there's nothing able to pull in. I pulled this guy out for China. So I can't really, there's no real working ports anywhere. So let's do the attack here. So we got 2468 because these are Chinese, and let's make sure they're out of supply. 1, 2. They got to go to a Chinese city. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can't reach a city, and the only rail line they can hit, yeah, they're all blocked, is this one, and it dead ends here. So they truly are out of supply, so here we go. They've got 8. We've got 26. That's a 3 to 1. And then 2 shifts, but 1 shift for the train. So let's pull up the game charts here and see how this invasion goes. Question is, once you get there, what are you going to do? Okay, so got a flat 3 to 1, and we shift to 4 to 1. That's pretty much it. So it's a 4 to 1. Let's roll the die. Ouch. That's not good. Partial exchange. Side with the lower steps is eliminated. Equal number. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. 2, 4, 6, 8 steps. And they've got 4 steps. I mean, if I'm reading this right. Oh, wait. Let's look at this. All PX. All defending units suffer 1 step loss. Is that what I rolled here? I rolled a 6. I'm at 4 to 1. I get a PX. All defending units suffer 1 step loss. The attacker loses an equal number. Oh my goodness. Let's talk about a failure. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. And guess what, boys and girls? Wow. The Marines only have 4 steps. We eliminated 4 steps. So guess what? The Marines fail. That's interesting. I did that right. The Marines fail in their invasion. I don't know how to make it any better. 7 would have been 3 to 1. Would have been 4 steps. They had to roll a 6. That was the worst result. Any other result but 6. Wow. Okay. Well, that was interesting. Let's just keep these guys off here. That was very interesting. So it does come down to, that's the whole special phase there. Let's see if this madness finally ends. So let's get to the sequence of play here to make sure I'm doing this right. That was the strategic movement phase. Offboard conflicts, there currently are none because Formosa was covered. Now it's a movement, atomic, and combat, and they're not going to drop any bombs. They could make the Chinese lose. They've got to take this hex. That's what it boils down to. Let's see. That's okay. It's movement right now. And the problem is these guys are out of supply too, so we've got to beef them up with a... So it would be nice to get more firepower here. We got to load this sucker up. These guys got to move here. These I don't need to support these ports anymore. They're kind of irrelevant. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. He can't get over there, so I'll put a 5 and 3. Okay, this guy. I'm going to move a 5 and a 3 in there, and then this guy's going to move up here just for the sake of... that's the big attack. And we'll definitely use air power there. So let's look at the rest of our stuff here. Oh, we got these units here. I don't know really what, if anything, they can do to help. What do they gain? They do have full movement, though. And they'll be in supply as long as they're within 5 hexes. You're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they can get to the back part of the front line. Sure. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this guy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Don't know what those gorillas can do. They can probably park right here and mess up stuff, take us out of supply. So that's their movement. So that's this movement. So that's this. So it's all this. This is it. Actually, if they don't take this, it's game over. And a half-point victory for communists. All right. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20 to 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ouch. Ouch. They should have escalated. Oh well. And they're on a port. Let's make sure I do this right. 2, 4, 6, 9. 9 to 20. So we got a 2 to 1. Let's pull up the game chart. Wow, this is all coming down to this. So we got a 2 to 1. And then this shift rules out that shift. That is rough terrain. So it's 2 to 1. Okay, fighting with sticks and stones. Here we go, 2 to 1. Big roll, big roll. Here we go. Knowing Vassal, it'll roll another 6. It all comes down to this. 3. Oh, they got it. They got the DR. That's it. They took it. Treat 1 hex. Wow. Okay. Too bad the other roll didn't do that. Let's see what we're going to do. We're going to do 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Wow. Oh boy, this is strange now. If they nuke it, they lose. They can't nuke it. So maybe they can take it back. Okay, advance after combat. What are we going to... Oh, it's a port. Good news, boys and girls. That means these units are in supply. That means everybody suddenly came in supply. So let's move 2 guys here. So they're in supply now. Well, let's put all of them here. They're in a port. They are totally in supply, and they just got a victory point. And the communists lost the victory point. Ouch. Ouch. So this goes to 6. And the communists are at -1/2. Wow. Okay. 2 to 1. What would happen if they rolled a 6? Partial exchange. Everybody lose 1, but they still would have held it. That would have done it. So it was a 5 or 6. Ooh. That's an interesting result. Attack or retreat. So there was a 50-50 shot there. 50-50. Yeah, they didn't do any atomic attacks, obviously. So that ends that. Let's change the move here. Take the move out. So that's interesting. They got the victory point. There's no stalemate. The Chinese can't do a stalemate again. And it's impossible. I mean, wow. It doesn't help now. They're in the negative VPs. So I was thinking nuking that port. Take the supply away. They're all down, but it doesn't matter anymore. They're negative. There's nothing they can do to be positive. All right. Let's see where we're at here. Yeah, we didn't do any atomic attacks, combat phase, end phase. They're not going to declare a stalemate because they're winning, just going by rules, right? If you don't have positive VPs, everybody loses. Doesn't matter how many negative VPs. All right, so that is the end of the UN phase. So they've taken out the stalemate effect. So what I'm going to do here is, we're at 24 minutes. I mean, the next phase for the communists is the escalation phase. And I am sorely tempted to end this video call, with them trying to say global. I mean, let's look at they're in the negatives. They failed with Formosa. The only thing coming next is potentially an invasion of China at this level. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, they could pull it off. They're not going to use nukes. Victory points. Yeah. They could get some here. That could turn the tide. So we could let them invade China after they build up. +1 for U.S. nationals, -1 for 3 Chinese divisions. They could easily pull units back. That's not a problem. Like right now they got 9. That's a 3. Let's say 4. And right now, looking here, be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they've got a 2 at least right now. 2d6, roll 2. Wait, let's look at this here. If I rolled a snake eyes. Oh, but it's +2. This is impossible. How do you get to that? Oh, this is, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong chart. Let's look at this. If I roll a 12 plus 2 is 13, 14. Well, you're going to need some more modifiers. But we could do the invasion of China. Well, let's do this. This will determine what goes on from here. And then I'll stop the recording because I wouldn't want to keep you waiting. This way I'm stuck with the roll. I can't keep re-rolling until I get the result I want. So it's the beginning of the Chinese turn, and all I'm going to do before I kill this video is do the escalation phase. And the communists are going for global war. If I roll a 5 or 6, the Russian hordes invade Europe. Let's see what happens. Close my eyes and... Oh gosh! Okay, well, you're getting to see it all here. I didn't make this one up. Global war. And actually they're set. They moved all these here. Does strategic movement come before? Yes, it does. Okay. Which means invasion Europe. Let's look at this. +1 for European conflict. Well, you can put national Chinese there. Soviets. 10 atomic bombs. Wow. So this is what's going to happen. Yeah, they're going to pull over 6. They're going to get a +5. So they can get to 17. Well, they can get a -5. Holy smoke, that could end the game right there. That could end the game right there. Okay. Well, we have escalated. The Soviets are crossing the East German, West German border because they were successful in stuff. This was where we could have stepped back from the brink, but it's not going to happen now. The Soviets are in the game. Let's look. All bets are off. The Soviets are going to cross the border. The only thing at this point that costs victory points is if, for whatever reason, the U.S. wants to start doing radioactive waste. Oh, and this changed the victory point totals now. I think I'll have to calculate that. But it doesn't matter because this is all the money. All the money right here. So because they successfully took this port, that was it. All right, interesting times. We may be close to the end here. So again, if you like this, please click like, subscribe to be notified when I post again. Otherwise, thanks for listening, and we will see you on the East and West German border in our next recording. All right, thanks.